You got buyers and you got sellers. Sellers are typically what I'd like to work with because it don't require a bunch of running around. Of course, open houses and little maintenance stuff I do for people. Maintenance is one of the things that's not required as an agent, but I still help people with it if I can. Sometimes it's not something that's gonna get done though, because the client. I had a client recently. I went in the house. First thing I noticed before I even got in the house was the porch. The porch was a block porch, and blocks were missing, cinder blocks. And I say, well, I actually have some cinder blocks. So some cinder blocks and mortar mix, we can work that out. I'm not going to do that personally. I'm not a mason, but I do know people who are. And we could have pretty much whipped his porch back up into shape real quick. But he just wanted to set it fast. He wanted a cash offer actually. So I said, hey, you know what? Give me a week with it. Nobody does a week. Nobody wants to list a house for a week because the chances of selling it, especially in the location that it was in, was not a desirable location. And there was a reason why it was just a $50,000 house. So I go in, and the house pretty much needs to be cleaned up, to say the least. I do have cleaning people, and honestly, I would have helped him clean the house up, but not for what I was going to make off of this particular deal because I told him my minimum is what I really try to walk away with is $3,500. But I dropped the commission to below $3,500 for him to sell the house. And that wasn't me walking away with 3,500. That was less than 35 to split with the buyer's agent if somebody else brought a buyer. But I let him know that if that's one of the things that he wanted to do, then we could definitely make it happen. So between the porch, cleaning up the house, so I go in the basement. The basement is pretty much kind of dry, but you can smell and feel moisture down there. And that's only because you can see in the corner the wall was starting to absorb moisture. So eventually it's about to come in. I go down and I see that and I realize it's probably just the downspout that needs an elbow and an extension to route the water away from the house. And you route the water away, that corner downstairs dries up. And when it dries up, you paint it with some kills to kill any of the bacteria or fungus or whatever that's growing. And looks pretty good after that because it's going to be dry. It obviously had gutters. Gutters are a problem sometimes for people because water will run right down to the side of the house and into the basement. So you get the gutters, routes the water down to the downspout, the elbows take it run away from the house with the extension, which is what I was trying to tell him. Then the yard had issues, just need to be cleaned up. Had leaves, sticks everywhere, debris. And that's not a problem. We can take care of all of that. That's not a problem. But he wanted it sold today, and we only had a week, and it would be up to him. And another thing was the dirt. We need to build the grade up. I said, hey, look, I got a pickup truck. We can go, if you want to buy some dirt, I can take to the, go pick the dirt up, and we can come here, shovel it around, build the grade up. So now the elbow and the extension, that's a really cheap fix. The dirt, that's another cheap fix. But it's me personally, the real estate agent, that's gonna go and help to prepare this house to sell for the most. And even if if we had to go down there and paint. I'd have helped to paint too. But I can't do it with less than my minimum. That's just we're gonna have to you got to pay for that. But then another thing was the power washing. I have a power washer. We could have power washed the house, fixed those things outside, inside paint, clean up, and the house would have been a whole different marketable, much better, easier to sell. I could have put it on listed it on the MLS. People would have seen it on Zillow, Trillia, Realtor.com, Redfin, and somebody would have called and bought this house. And it probably would have taken him another, if he maybe would have spent $1,000. That's a been it. We could have got us. But I did reach out to several people, and I had people that were actually still working on getting pre-approved right now for the house. And that would have been fine, but it didn't happen fast enough because I only had it listed for 1 week. And we had a showing after that somebody was interested in it, but we couldn't show it. It expired. He didn't want to sign to have it extended. So we didn't sell the house. But that's the kind of stuff that I actually do for people. Most of the time, as confidentiality is one of those things that I'm big on, I don't expose people's business like that. So people don't know. And if I don't actually follow through with the work that I will do, that they don't want me to follow through with, or they don't do their part, then it looks like I did nothing. Didn't get the sale. The house expired. On my record, it looks like didn't sell it. But I could have. But I don't get credit for the things that I would have done. I get credit for the things that I actually do. I have houses that I've received full price offers on. People listed them for the prices, and they just don't accept the full price offer, and they change their minds. I have people who want to list properties for more than what they're worth, even though they know that we talk about what it's actually worth. Once upon a time, I had a guy came to me and said he wanted to sell his house. He wanted 130,000. I told him you'd be probably better off in the closer to 100 range, maybe 110. 110 to me was borderline, and we listed it for the 130 because that's what he wanted to do, and I'm with whatever he wants to do. If he felt like we could do it, but I did talk to him and I told him that if we can't do it in a reasonable amount of time, then we should probably drop the price. Which happened 2, 3 weeks later. We dropped the price. We ended up at 110, and we had an offer. We had actually 3 offers for the 110, and we sold the house. Just like I said from the beginning. If we would have said 110 from the beginning, on my record, we would have been, he did a good job, sold it right quick, but I went along with what my seller wanted to do. I give people when it makes sense, not even when I can. I give people home warranties. If I list a property that will provide a substantial commission, automatically home warranty is involved. The home warranty is going to be paid for by me, so that when the seller gets an offer and they come over, the buyers come and do their inspection, then there may be some things that the buyer is concerned about. If they're getting a home warranty, then we don't have to worry about those. Their concerns will be dispelled, and we can go ahead and close. If I was operating the way that realtors typically do, then it would be my job to make the seller aware or make the buyer aware, depending on whose side I'm working, that there are home warranties available and the different companies that offer them and the benefits and the pros and cons between the different companies. I personally like Choice. Choice is good because, unlike some other ones, they'll look at, say, a furnace, for instance. If the furnace goes out, they might replace it, but they're only going to replace up to what they believe that the thing is worth based on how old it was. So they're prorating. Now, Choice, with their Premier plan, which is what I purchase for people when I do, um, they'll come and just replace the whole thing. If the air conditioner went out, even if it was older, it went out, they'll just come and replace it. They'll take the old one and get rid of it and replace the whole air conditioning unit. And that's a great benefit. And I buy this plan for clients. Sometimes I bought them for sellers, and sometimes I bought them for buyers. But I always make people aware if I'm not going to. I received a call yesterday. Somebody's hot water tank went out. And that's another thing that I tell people when they don't get a home warranty is sign up for the service plan with DTE. Just add an extra $30, $40 on every month. And when something goes wrong, just like I pay for, they fix it. My furnace went out. They came, fixed it. My air conditioner went out. They came and fixed it. My washing machine, dryer went out twice. They came and fixed it. So I do advise my clients that these protection plans are available. And it's not up to me to follow through, it's up to them. But I do provide the information. When a lot of people come to me and they get frustrated because they think that things are supposed to go a certain way. But as the scripture says, let everything be done decently and in order. There's no need in going to look for a property that you're not prepared to purchase that day. You should be able to submit an offer, get it accepted, and be ready to close as soon as you submit the offer, even though it's going to take some time to get between title and your loan officer. If you're doing a cash deal, I've closed cash deals in 5 days. We submitted an offer Monday, closed Friday. I can make that happen. It's not up to me, it's up to the client. So when people come to me and they say they saw a house and they want to see it in person, I can go show a house in person if I have a contract. But if you don't have a pre approval or you don't have proof of funds, then you can't buy the house. And the way the housing market is, you go see a house, you go to try to get pre approved. And while you're going through the process, whether you can get pre approved or not is one thing. But if you do get pre approved, the time that it takes, the house could be pending already. Got a call yesterday. Guy loved the house. And if he loved it, guess what? Somebody else did too. Loved the house. He hasn't been pre approved yet. And he called and said, it said pending. Yes, that's exactly what happens. And that's why it's imperative that you have your financial situation in order before we go see a house, because time is not one of those things you want to waste. You don't want to kill it. Killing time is not a good policy. And I don't have time to waste. And people don't want to give a deposit or pay by the hour. So there's no need in going to see a property until you're ready to submit a real offer. But once a person submits goes and gets their financial situation in order and is capable of closing, it's more like, hey, you said you're seeing the property, you ready? When you want to see it? They say as soon as possible. I say, what, in like an hour? They say, oh, no, not that soon. I say, you said as soon as possible. I'm saying I'm ready when you are. And I am ready when they are. Sometimes I might be a couple of minutes late, but it's for that particular time as soon as they were ready. And we're going to see the house. And if they like it, then I'm going to submit the offer. After running the comps to make sure that the house is not overpriced and they're still getting a fair deal. Because to this day, I have not had anyone pay more than the appraised value. on the house. Nobody. Appraisal guarantees, I suggest against them. I don't like appraisal guarantees because I don't want my clients to start off with negative equity. I want you to have some equity. I want you to be able to sell your house if you need to get out of it. I don't want you to have to walk away. I don't want you to have to go to the bank and asking, can you do a short sale? I want you to be able to sell the house and hopefully walk away with some money in your pocket. This past year, I sold 3 houses that I helped people buy. One house, let's see, 56. They walked away with 45. That we sold it for $45,000 more than what they bought it for exactly 1 year prior. Another house that she walked away with the offer was accepted for $50,000. Well, actually, I walked away with $50,000 more than what the house. The offer, actually the house sold for $60,000 more than what it cost in the first place. Um, Another one, 60. He walked away with $90,000 more than he paid for the house. And I'm not saying that these people didn't put anything into the house, which sometimes not very much, but they walked away being able to sell and have a check and not walk away in the hole or just walk away, period. I don't get people in those kind of situations, but I don't put people's business out there to have to compromise their privacy. I'm just saying that they don't come forth to say, hey, this guy did this or that either. And at the same time, with me doing those deals, I actually took commission cuts. I did extra work, like literally extra work. And I was using my truck, my time, my expertise, my abilities to help. Things that's not required, they are completely outside the scope of real estate agent. But I do these things because I try to help people. I'm not trying to just make a commission real quick. I don't mind doing a little bit of work if it's going to result in a sale. When I do all of these extra things, I think people think that it's because I'm lacking on some end. But from getting everything, the documentations together, to having everything filed properly, to working with the right professionals, from loan officers to title companies to um, carpenters to plumbers, inspectors. I get people who can do, well, everybody's competent. We do a good job. But a lot of times people back out of situations. I get an offer accepted on a house for $22,000 less than they're asking, and they don't buy it. They walk away and say they changed their mind. I get this stuff all the time. I can't take credit for something that actually doesn't happen, but I do my job. It's not that I don't do a great job. It's that I just can't get credit for something that I didn't get to finish. But all I need is for people to trust that I know what I'm doing. The advice that I give, I don't talk a lot. If I am talking, I'm saying something that matters. I get people all the time, buyers, that didn't realize that they had to have their earnest money deposit turned in within 2 days of offer acceptance, even though I tell everybody right from the beginning that the two things we're going to need to do as soon as they accept the offer is, one, schedule inspection, which we need to, I suggest, schedule immediately And if we can, which is the case many times, I can pretty much get it done, have inspection the following day. I've had inspections done the same day that the offer was accepted. And we want to do that so as to get it done and get an idea of whether or not you even need to submit the EMD within 2 days. Because you don't want to submit the EMD, then have the inspection, and you walk away from the house or cancel the deal, and then have to wait for your EMD to come back to you. The brokerages are going to want you to just leave the EMD. If we send it to the title company, you're still going to have to wait for them to process it out. And if you can know ahead of time, then I can submit a dissatisfaction with inspection report, and you won't even have to submit the EMD, and we can keep it moving. But if you're not listening to me tell you this, and you're not paying attention to what I'm saying, then we end up in a situation where you don't even have the EMD submitted within the 2 days. And now I have to go and put an addendum together and get everybody to sign. And hopefully the seller isn't selling the property to somebody else already, because they're not even required to give us notice. If your EMD is not in, you might just lose the house. You may have not known that. But I know, and I make sure that I tell everybody, because I've been in this situation too many times. I know. So if you or anybody that you know are looking for competent assistance that's going to go all out to make sure that you're okay, and it's not about a commission, you should reach out to me. I'm here to help. If it's about the commission, we can work something out. If you feel like you can handle it, you can do a list only. If you want to be able to see houses, we can get you pre-approved. If you need to work on your credit, I can give you some pointers, but I can also send you to some credit repair specialists who can get you together too. It's just so many different things that you get when you're dealing with me. And if you want competent assistance, I'm your guy. I got sellers in the wintertime, they don't ask. It's not required. But if we're having a showing coming up or an inspection coming up, I go and clean the driveway, clean the walkways, spread calcium chloride down at my expense. But at the rate that people do, the way they don't follow through, if I don't close and I don't get paid, then I won't be able to have calcium chloride for my own driveway, let alone theirs. But if I'm dealing with people who are competent and understand exactly what's going on and don't have a problem with listening and trusting what a professional has to say about it, a professional that's willing to go the extra mile, then everything will work out great and you will save thousands of dollars. You want to save a few dollars on gas by going to the right gas station, or instead of going to Hollywood Market, you go to Walmart or Sam's Club to save a few dollars. If you're conducting a real estate transaction, I can save you thousands of dollars. Thousands. Literally. You should call. My name is James White. I'm with Simply Home Real Estate, and my number is 248-891-3876. I'm here to help.